What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cool Fred's Garage. So this 78 Malibu Classic, this thing, it is running. So we did get it fired up and running. So I'm gonna do a final fire up video on it before it goes back to the customer. But today I'm gonna go ahead and get this Tach installed. All right, so here's our Tach right here. I think this is. It kind of reminds me like of an old Sun Pro, but it's from Equus. So it's kind of one that you'll get like at your local auto parts store. Because we had to get this one because the one that we were gonna put in, it was one that needed to go into like a gauge panel, so it was just different. It wasn't gonna be able to match up. So I pretty much already got this one somewhat kind of prepped, ready to go in. But typically on the Tach, you got 4 wires. So typically you got one for the lights, you got one for the ground, you got ignition hot, and then this other one here goes to like the ground side of the coil. In this case, it's going to be going to the Tach output, where on this distributor here on the HEI, got one right there that says Tach, so that's where it's going to attach to on this car. So pretty much with this one, it's pretty much easy to get installed. I got to change a couple things. I think right now this one, it's in it's like in the 4-cylinder mode. So they got different instructions here, but pretty much right here there's a switch on the back that I gotta select and put it into 8-cylinder mode. So that's pretty much the pulses from that it picks up from the distributor. So that's it right here. So right, you can see it's in 4-cylinder mode. So I need to move this dial right here all the way down to the end, all the way down to the 8. So we should be good right there. Alright, so I'm about to get ready to prepare to get this thing mounted in the car, and pretty much the customer had kind of a specific location that he wanted the Tach to be. One of his locations were kind of over here on the steering column, but because the way this car is set up, the way it's made, especially with the column shifter, it's kind of hard to put it right there, so we had to choose another location. So the other location that he picked was kind of over here off to the side of the dash here, but he just didn't want it blocking like the vent. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of get it angled about where it needs to be, and I'm gonna get it kind of angled where it needs to be, and from there I'm just gonna put a couple pieces of tape over here. That way I can figure out where to put my hole at. So he really didn't want to like drill any holes into like the dash panel or anything like that, but you know, unfortunately we're gonna have to put one in there, and he understands that. So once I get this thing kind of mapped out where it's gonna go, I'm gonna put a couple pieces of tape so it kind of lines up, and then I'll drill a hole. And I gotta take this panel here apart a little bit, that way I can get to the other side of it to be able to get that mounted. So this thing comes with a pretty good, it's got a lot of the accessories and stuff in there, like for the wires and stuff. So you got some, it's got some ground splices. It also got an end for the connect your Tach up. So it's got a few things here, and also like a little rubber mount to kind of protect it. So I'm gonna end up using, cause this right here, like if you don't have it on the steering column, if you're not using that little rounded area, you got to use this flat area in the combination with this and the other thing, and then this screw is just gonna go through both of them. So once I map out where it's gonna go, I gotta put this little flat plate on there, and then the screw's gonna go both through there and then into where I needed to go. So I'm gonna kind of go ahead and get that stuff mapped out and go ahead and get that prep and ready to go in there, and I'll show you guys what we got. Alright, so this is pretty much what I got. So I got the trim bezel there for the dash, kind of down a little bit. So I was able to drill a hole through here, and you can see I'm securing this with that screw there. So I'm still working on getting this in the right position and getting this snug down. As I explained earlier, these instructions, they kind of outline where all your wires go. So the green wire is the one that goes to the ignition coil. So I just got that fed through the grommet that I already had up there for the other gauges, and I got it coming out. I got it coming out up under the hood here. So this wire right here is pretty long. You can see how long it is. So pretty much what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tuck it down in this little wire loom here. That's kind of gonna neatly go up under there. Then I'm gonna put an end on it so it attaches right there to the Tach terminal. So the end that I'm gonna put on this one is gonna be the one that they put in the kit here. So they give you a variety of this style here, this spade terminal, and also these ring terminals. So if you got an older car with the round style coil, you will put this on the negative side of the coil. But in my case, I got an HEI, so I'm gonna use this right here. All right, so I just crimped my new end on there. So that's what it looks like. And I'm just gonna get this plugged in up under here. So let's see which way these go. I guess it's straight across. It's probably just wiggling and jiggling. I gotta see which way it goes. This one goes, let me see. Yeah, they go straight across. That's the power wire for the distributor. Just gotta get it in the right groove. So I'll play around with that and get that attached. So on this car right here, now this is for the lights and the ignition hot. So you can see on the fuse box there are a few connections, but you have to use this flat blade style to use them. So I modified a insulated style connector by sliding it off and then just kind of cutting this piece off so it'll work with my crimper, because this is for my crimper is set up for crimping insulated wire. So I'm gonna put that on here, and I've already checked with my meter to make sure that I got the proper voltage and everything. So I checked with the light so you got a thing right here that's abbreviated lamps, which is right here. So I'm gonna connect this white wire there, and on this one you got a few accessories like for battery hot and also ignition. You got like 3 ignition sources. So basically those are for accessories and additional things that you want to add to the vehicle that the car didn't come with. So it's easy to like connect the Tach and things like that to a GM car. But like on some of the older Fords, I noticed they don't have that flexibility. Maybe some of the ones in the 80s do, but that Torino I was working on, that fuse box probably only just had maybe 10 or 12 circuits. It was very minimal. But this GM style here, it has a lot of flexibility. So instead of kind of tying into the gauges and things that I've already done, instead of tying into stuff like that, I wanted to kind of wanted to, you know, everything to have its own individual circuit. So that's kind of why I just chose to do it this way, because it's just easier to attach to the fuse box. So I'm gonna connect that white wire. Now I showed you guys where the Tach wire is out under the hood there. I did get that connected. I just had to play around with it to get it to fall into place. And my ground wire here for the Tach is right there. So just use a self-tapping screw. It was already a hole that was right there for something. Maybe it's for a different option or something that doesn't belong to this car, but maybe they do all the G bodies like that. So it had a couple holes there. So that's a good grounding ground area there, so I got that connected there. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect that other wire, and then we'll see, make sure our Tach work and make sure the lights work when you turn them on. All right, so here we go. So far when I hop in here and I turn the ignition on, the Tach is at 0, and when I turn the lights on, the lights light up. So that's our lights for our gauges. So now I'm gonna see if I can fire this thing up and we get any RPM reading. All right, so there we go. So that thing works. It seems like the RPM is a bit low on here. I probably need to adjust it just a little bit, idle it up just a little bit. All right, folks, so that's it for this video right here. So we know that got the Tach connected. We know that it's working. The lights are working. So notice I got everything put back together. I kind of vacuumed a little bit of the debris and stuff, like from the wires and just different stuff I was doing with the gauges and stuff. So vacuum up everything, got everything cleaned up. Got the lower dash panel on. So basically the wires for the Tach are in that conduit. You can hardly tell like it's back there. So that's kind of what the customer wanted. He wanted a nice clean look to it. So and he particularly didn't want like the Tach up high like on the dash. So I guess he didn't want nobody to know that he had it in here or whatever. So he wanted it to be kind of nice and tucked away. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys for checking out Cool Fred's Garage. We'll catch you next video.